This is the third part of the U Oregon Success Series, and today's session is titled Advising in U. We're focusing on helping you get started on your academic and career journey at the U of O, and as part of this series, we'll be holding sessions throughout the week on different topics to help you prepare for the fall term. As I mentioned earlier, this session is being recorded so that other students can view it later. So if you have a chance, let your friends know about it and maybe have them connect with the recording of it on our website afterwards. To respect student privacy, we have blocked the video and audio of attendees, but attendee names will still be viewable in the recording details. And just wanted to let you all know that that was happening. My name is Miranda Atkinson, and I'm the Associate Director for Tyson Hall College and Career Advising. I'm an advisor, is the short way of saying that. Our U Oregon Success Series event today is focused on advising, specifically how and when to find academic and career advising and coaching in your first term and beyond at the U of O. Today, we're joined by several advisors from different advising units on campus who will talk about the work that they do and how they can support you. After that, we'll open it up to student questions. If you'd like to ask the presenter a question, you can type it here in the Zoom chat, but it'll be public and part of the recording. If you'd like to remain anonymous, because sometimes that's a little bit easier, but still have your question answered during this event, please send your question via Microsoft Teams to Kate Stuckey or Kate Stuckey via email at kstuckey@uoregon.edu. She'll be monitoring the chats and her email, and I think she just put those instructions up in the chat for today so you can copy and paste if you need to. We'll also post the details of how to submit questions in the Zoom chat. Right there. Great. We'll start today by meeting the advisors and coaches on our panel, hearing more about the services their units offer, how you can connect with them, and then give you all an opportunity to ask questions. All right, I'll go first since I'm already the one speaking up. My name is, as I mentioned, Miranda Atkinson, and I work in Tyson Hall. I'm associated with the Industry, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation Flight Path. Tyson Hall provides a lot of different services. We tend to work a lot with exploring students or students with declared majors in the College of Arts and Sciences. And I'll let one of my colleagues later talk a little bit more about how students can access our services. The short of it is that we're available. We have appointments and drop-ins. Those are remote this term, but we're here for you and excited to work with you. One of the other things we wanted to share were a little bit about ourselves and COVID hobbies that we picked up. So something we've picked up over the past 6 months. And mine is my older son learned how to ride a bike without training wheels, and he's incredibly fast. So I spent a lot of the time this summer chasing him around the neighborhood, but it's been really fun.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. Welcome in. So excited to be part of this. My name is Kyle Santos, and I am a career readiness coach for the University Career Center. The flight path that I'm a part of is the Industry, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation Flight Path. Some other things I do want to share outside of my initial role at the Career Center. I'm hugely involved with a lot of different student groups around campus. For example, the Asian Desi Pacific Islander community, as well as student clubs like the Pacific Islander Club and the Hui o Hawaii Hawaii Club. So as I mentioned earlier, I work at the Career Center, and some of the services that we do provide for y'all is things like if you're looking for first-time opportunities like jobs or on-campus jobs, internships and such like that, resumes and cover letters, helping you with LinkedIn profiles. We have virtual events that you could potentially be a part of as well and get involved with, and that's through our website called Handshake. Majority of our website is going to be shared later on, like career@uoregon.edu, and that's where you can find all our different services, but also all the different resources within that career side of things. In terms of, we meet with students virtually, just like as advising. We do one-on-one career coaching with students. And so if you do have any questions when it comes to part-time jobs, when you're ready or looking for involvements, we can totally help out with those kind of things. Or things like, again, like those virtual events. like networking opportunities, career fairs, and part-time job fairs, and all that kind of things. A lot of those things are going to be virtual, and so that's going to be found in our website for the most part. And you can find creating a appointment with me, for example, through a website called Navigate. The best way to connect with me is through my email that's on here in the slide, is at ksantos@uoregon.edu. Feel free to reach out at any time. And one of the COVID hobbies that I picked up was Indo boarding. I'm from Hawaii, so I like to surf a lot. But Indo boarding was something that I can do outside of the water, where I can do that at the comfort of my home, where I was like balancing out and things like that. So thank you.
The mute likes to turn itself on. It says that I'm muted. We all good now? We're good? Awesome. Hey, everybody. I'm Abby Rotholtz. I use she, her pronouns. I'm an access advisor in the University of Oregon's Accessible Education Center. And we are basically student disability services. We work with students with disabilities to support access and inclusion in a variety of ways. Many of the students who come to our office have had 504 plans or IEPs in high school, but not everybody. We work individually with students and consult with faculty. We work to educate the university community on disability and generally ways to make the university more accessible. We work with a variety of different disability experiences, whether it's learning disability or ADHD, physical disability, mental health concerns, anything that's really creating barriers to being able to fully participate and access your education. So we work closely with students to develop an accommodations plan if that's what's the best fit for your disability needs, or to connect you to resources that would be better supports. We work to connect students to tutoring, to mental health supports. We can help students get evaluated for disability, for a learning disability if that's something that they're looking to do. And we also have some groups for students, such as an ADHD strategies group and a social connectedness group for students who identify as being on the autism spectrum and want to have a safe space to just connect with other students who also identify like that. And we can really direct you to anyone else on campus that you're looking to get connected to as well if you have questions that are beyond disability. As far as campus involvements, I work closely with university housing for student housing accommodation needs, and an active member of the Dismantling Whiteness Strategies group, an affinity space on campus. And as far as COVID hobbies, I've gotten pretty into making homemade ferments recently. So making a lot of kimchi and trying to use my CSA vegetables up. So that's been fun. And to get connected with our office, you can go to aec.uoregon.edu. A little bit of a different process than most of the advising units on campus. So be sure to go directly to our website to learn more. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kenley Cowell, and I am an academic and career advisor in Tykeson College and Career Advising. I use she, her pronouns. And my role on campus is somewhat similar to that of a guidance counselor that you would have had in high school. Really there to help you pick classes and help you guide you through your major and minor requirements, as well as your general education requirements. But at the end of the day, me and my teammates over in Tykeson College and Career Advising are also there to really help you explore and get as much out of college as you possibly can, by helping you not only explore majors and minors, but clubs and possible career choices that will really help guide you in your undergraduate journey towards your ultimate success post-graduation. To get connected with us, like some of my colleagues here have noted, I'm on Navigate. Email is right there, so feel free to send me any questions. I am a generalist, so I can answer questions generally about a lot of advising needs for core education and many majors and minors, but my specialty is in global connections. So majors that have to do with language learning, area studies of different regions around the world, history, anthropology, and linguistics, and a bunch of other cool majors and minors that our students really love. As far as COVID hobbies go, I'm kind of a busybody, so I've been trying to learn a lot of new skills that will help me be sustainable someday if I ever have to live on my own. So I just recently refinished a bunch of furniture. I've been gardening a lot, and my most recent passion is herbalism, just trying to understand the plants around us and how you can eat them safely.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Ransford, and as you can see on the slide, I'm an academic advisor within the Pathway Oregon program. And Pathway Oregon is a program that provides financial support, academic support, and personal support for students who qualify for the program. If you're in Pathway Oregon, you should know that already. You should have heard from us as well as from the financial aid office, but it's a pretty large program. We actually have a little over 600 incoming first-year students who are part of Pathway Oregon. So if you're here and listening, welcome. In terms of what we offer as advisors, as Kenley said, I think it's fair to say that we would consider ourselves generalists too, in that we can cover quite a bit. And so that means it could mean that we would help you plan and select courses each term. Or if you're wanting to explore and select a major or explore other academic interests like a minor. If you're interested in planning ahead and drafting a four-year graduation plan. If you're in a class where you might need some additional tutoring support, if it's a math or science course, we can help you get connected in that way. Sometimes students have questions about study abroad, and we can certainly answer those in a general capacity, and then also bridge it to some of the financial aid questions you might have about how that would work. And then I think something that's probably particular to our program, because we're so closely connected with the financial aid office, is our staff has a lot of knowledge and access with regard to financial aid. So if you have questions about the FAFSA or about your bill or how to interpret some of these items, come and see us too. And in most cases, we can answer that question, but if we can't, we know how to refer you to the financial aid office if that seems appropriate. In terms of reaching us for our particular program, you have my email address here on the slide. You're welcome to contact me anytime. You'll see a slide toward the end of the workshop that will provide a general website where you can actually access all of our programs. But I think if you're in the Pathway Oregon program, probably the fastest and easiest way to reach us, if it's not by email, would be to go to our website, and that's just pathwayoregon.uoregon.edu. And you'll see a button right on the homepage that says Connect with a Pathway Oregon Advisor. In terms of a COVID-19 hobby that I could share, I think prior to working remotely, I did enjoy a nice cup of coffee in the morning, and we were very close to the Jaquia Center and the cafe there. I missed that now that I'm not there on a daily basis. So I've started to work on perfecting the pour over coffee method technique. So I'm still learning, but I'm having a lot of fun and certainly enjoying still that nice cup of coffee in the morning.
I may have to connect with you later about that, Jeff. Coffee has definitely been something that I've enjoyed a lot in the past 6 months, if not more so than I already did before. Thanks, everyone. Thank you to all of our panelists for the great introductions to both who you are and the resources that, that you work with to help support students. So as you can see, there are a lot of different advising units across campus, lots of support, and there are even more than you see represented here. For example, a few others I wanted to take some time to call out. The Center for Multicultural and Academic Excellence supports historically underrepresented and underserved student populations. And if you're the first student in your family to attend college, or if you meet socioeconomic criteria, or if you have a documented disability, TRIO and Student Support Services could be a great resource for you as well. The short of it is, I know that's a lot of information, but there's a lot here for you, and all of the information about it can be found at advising.uoregon.edu. We've got that on a slide for you at the end of today's presentation. And if you don't know where to go, ask an advisor. All the folks here are happy to support you, and that also includes helping you connect with other resources that are a really good fit for you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you want to learn more about what these folks do, but then also other resources available on campus. We're going to start today with some questions that were submitted in advance of today's session that students have brought up. And these are also some pretty common questions that I think all of us have encountered quite a bit over the years. All right, the first question, is advising just for planning classes? Abby and Kyle, do you think you two might want to take a stab at that one?
Sounds good. I'll start. So our office really doesn't do much as far as planning for academic classes. We more look at how to be successful in those classes. And so we look at students' experiences of disability and how we can remove barriers between, your learning style and what's going on academically, what the structure of the class is. If there's barriers related to the time of day the classes. So we really look to find ways to take away any of those structural challenges, and then also to help students develop skills as far as time management, or maybe how to talk to faculty, maybe practicing some of those conversations that you might need to have. We can connect students to support for non-traditional students and veteran students. There's really a whole variety of things that we can support students to do that is, about who you are as a whole person and beyond just the academics. So we care about you as a whole person.
Thank you, Abby. I think for the Career Center, we actually do not touch classes when it comes to coaching. We talk more about how you can get involved in a lot of different opportunities in different ways. So things like first job, maybe it's an internship, maybe it's a volunteer experience, or simply just wanting to stay connected some shape or form on campus, like a student organization or club. And there's all these other great opportunities, and we are more than happy to kind of connect you to those opportunities to help you build your experience, as well as help you gain some experiences for things like later on in life, like a resume. And aligning that with, sometimes like your major, for example, if you're wanting to gain more experience and as gaining like an internship for kind of things. And so, really kind of reflecting on those experiences is really something that we also kind of talk about. But besides those kind of concepts and such, we also are placed as a resource for you to kind of share with other folks around campus who might be more helpful. Or simply if you're thinking about creating a support team, I looked at my advisors when I was in college as a way to stay connected in campus because I was away from home. And it was really with those individuals who were like my mentors who helped me find involvements, to find with connections or classes and all these kind of things, because classes can be overwhelming sometimes, but by finding the right people right there with you, they can give you so much more insight, wisdom, and a lot of great mentorship and guidance as you progress through not only just your academic journey, but also beyond that as in your college experience. So, yeah.
Thanks, everyone. All right, our next question. When should I meet with an advisor, and how about a career coach? Kenley and Kyle, do you want to tackle this one as well?
Yeah, I can definitely answer the first part of that, of when to meet with an advisor. At the University of Oregon, we don't actually require students to meet with advisors. However, I think that the students that I work with, as well as an advisor that you talk to, would recommend meeting with an advisor around like once a term, maybe at least once an academic year, I would say. But I really do like to work with students on a term-by-term basis to not only do short-term planning for each term as you're planning your coursework, but also to check in on larger scale ideas that you have in terms of like your career direction that you're going, to make sure that the courses that you're picking are working for that, or talking about maybe some undergraduate research opportunities, or are you getting involved in clubs? Do you have questions about how to get connected to different resources? You know, it's really a full year of experience, so why not take advantage of having a full year worth of advising by checking in every term?
For the career coach side of things, there is also no requirement for you to meet with us. And so this is just, again, a way, you know, when you meet with career coach, I do want to kind of mention there is a myth behind that word career. I have to be in my junior, senior, or looking for a career to meet with us. And that's not absolutely not even true. You can come as early as you'd want in terms of a meeting with us wherever you are at. In terms of just, again, just getting involved, whatever that looks like for you. You know, the myth behind going to the career center as a place to go during your junior, senior year is things where you can get finding that early involvement during like your incoming year kind of thing. So I think that's what I want to say at the moment. I feel like I'm blanking on a lot of different things, and so I'm just going to leave it at that. So yeah, I hope I got that.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, y'all. And I think one of the takeaways here is that we want to see you, right? And there's a lot I think that we can offer in terms of not just support when it's needed, but helping you have a really great experience that's, you know, rich and robust and links both your academic work to your career planning all at once. So thank you.
I do want to point, if I can interject again, something I forgot to say is also, if you just generally have a question and you're worried that it's a silly question, which of course there is no such thing as a college student, right? Or in general, but if you have a question and you're just not sure if there's a resource like attached to it, we don't expect you guys to be walking encyclopedias as to how college works. That's why we're here. We're here to really help you and get you connected. So if you're struggling, or you just want to know if we have a Quidditch team, or you want to just, you know, see if you're allowed to take an intro to guitar class for your major, talk to us and we'll help validate your emotions, we'll help validate your dreams, and we'll just help you get where you need to be.
Thanks, everyone. All right, here's another question. I still don't know what I want to major in, and I'm not sure how to decide. Who can help me with that? Let's see. Jeff and Kenley, would you all be willing to tackle that one?
Sure, I'll jump in. I think one way I try to explain to students how and when they can use advising for Pathway Oregon is, if you have any question, big or small, and it's similar to what Kenley was just sharing, come in and ask. And I think it's a great way to get a conversation started so that we can not only answer any specific question you have, but then also take some time really to get to know you. And in some ways that relates, I think, to this question. You know, if you're still exploring ideas about majors or careers or trying to make those kinds of connections, at least speaking for myself, when I meet with students, I'm pretty notorious if you come in and say, I have a quick question about what classes to take. I'll probably ask you lots and lots of questions about your interests and what you've done and what kinds of things you like to do, just as a way to get to know you first. And then I think that the answers that you provide really help both of us together to work toward getting at some of those more specific questions that lead to some connections and some experiences that you might be most interested in once you're here and thinking about planning ahead. So you absolutely can meet with any advisor, I think, as a starting point. But again, speaking from my experience, this is definitely a common question that students will have as they're exploring. And it might be for students who are currently declared exploring and know that they're looking for ideas about majors and minors. It's also just as common, in my experience, for a student to come in with a declared major and then maybe take a core ed course that you're really excited about or that's piqued your interest, and then you want to explore another idea. And so that's, I think, an avenue where we can talk about the possibility of keeping both as a double major, or even adding a minor, or shifting some of your interests in order to explore some ideas that you didn't even imagine before you started. And so I think it's such a great time when you're coming in this first year to explore, no matter what you are starting with regard to what you may have declared or not. And so again, working with advisors, I think, is an ideal starting point. And then as we discuss things, we may recognize some really good people for you to talk to in addition to our advising appointment, or connect you with certain programs, or let you understand different opportunities, if not for internships, but maybe even with getting undergraduate research opportunities, or things of that nature. So in short, come in. These are the kinds of things we'd love to talk to you about.
Yeah, and to go off that a little bit, Jeff, thank you. I think that this, culture that we live in is very pragmatic, and that there's kind of this misnomer out there that students need to come in with an idea of what they want to study. And they have to stick to that in order to graduate on time, whatever on time means, right? So as advisors, we're really there to help you lay out exactly how much room for exploration you have, which is essentially infinite, because yes, you do need to eventually pick a major and go down different avenues. But if you're exploring something that leads to a new interest, maybe that's a new major, maybe a new career choice. So we're really just there to help you see the doors you're already opening for yourself, if that makes sense, and not too existential. But exploring students are something we love, and you don't have to have it picked right away. I think I changed my major 3 or 4 times in school, and dropped minors and added them like it was my job in college, I'm pretty sure. So we're there to help you choose that. I personally love to help dig into a student's interests, but also like the problems that they see in the world, so that they can help see that they're going to be the future of fixing that.
Just as a show of hands with our panelists, how many of us changed majors in college at least once? Yeah. It's the way it happens. It happens for most of us. So thank you so much for normalizing that. All right, great. So here's another one. I'm facing difficulties in life and in school, because the two are connected, of course, but I don't know about what resources are available. How do I learn more about your services, or what services can help me? How about Abby and Jeff for this one?
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'll start with that. So I just want to start by saying that we love problem solving with you and figuring out what's going on, and what your options might be. And oftentimes when there are major difficulties in life, whether it's personal or financial, or with your family, or based on disability, whatever it is, that can cause a lot of anxiety and difficulty just managing everything. And so we really want to partner with students and help you figure out what you want, clarify what you're trying to work toward, and maybe make phone calls with you and get you connected with financial aid or the counseling center, or whatever it is that you're looking to do. So if you're facing difficulties, you're not sure what to do, you're definitely welcome to connect with us and help clarify that. I wanted to say that it's our job to partner with you and to help you solve these problems. So we're definitely here and excited about doing that. And you don't need to know exactly what you're looking for, kind of like Kenley was saying. You don't need to know what the solution is. You can come in dialogue with us and we can help you clarify that. It would be our pleasure. Oh, and how to get connected. I think I said that in my last bit, but again, aec.uoregon.edu The Accessible Education Center is a little bit separate from the other advising units. So we have our own system. We're a confidential resource for students insofar as it won't be on your record that you're working with us, and we don't, let's see. Oh yeah, we're student directed. So, there's no pressure to ever work with us, but if you want to contact us, that's how to get involved.
That's great. Thanks, Abby. I would add too, it's really easy, especially in the first term, to feel like a lot of the students around you are all doing just fine. And you may not be feeling that way. You may feel like you are facing some kind of difficulty, whether it's a financial concern or a personal concern, or there might be family issues, or maybe you're just homesick. And it doesn't seem like the others around you are feeling that way. And I really want to normalize that for you, to let you know that it's most common for students to face some other difficulties besides just going to school and dealing with what you associate with being in college. And so it's so nice, I think, to come in early and talk to somebody about it. And that's where I think the advisors are a great place to begin. Because again, if we don't have the direct answer, we know the university and we know the campus and we know how to get you connected. But it's quite common for students to be worried, in our case with our program, about finances and making sure that they can cover the bill. And it's hard to focus on classes. We'll come in and we can do some troubleshooting and figure things out for you. Or I can use an example from last year. I had a student who came in because she was incredibly homesick and didn't anticipate that would be an issue or a challenge, but it was once she was here on campus. And so we actually met regularly for a little while in the fall term, and she's doing great. It just took a little bit of time. So there are lots of different ways I think advisors can help you individually, but also get you connected so that you begin to get more comfortable when you're here, so that you have a really positive experience. But it's okay to have challenges. We all have challenges and difficulties, but we're here to work together as a team to make sure that you have a good experience.
Thank you. That's wonderful. We're all whole people, right? And all the pieces of who we are impact our work as students and our work and all the other pieces of our lives. And I know sometimes it can seem like everyone else looks like they have it together, right? But everyone has their struggles, and it's very, very, very common for those to come up. And the great news is that there are a lot of good support resources on campus to help with that, as everyone's outlined. Thanks so much. All right, the last question, we've kind of touched on it a few times, but I just want to make sure it's really clear, because one of our main goals is that you leave this session today feeling confident that you know how to get in touch. We keep telling you to come in and see us. We want to make sure that you leave today knowing how to actually follow through and do that. So how can I connect with your office or make an appointment? I'm going to ask Abby and Kenley to touch on this. Maybe Abby, you can go first regarding AEC one more time, and then we can go to the next slide that outlines that through Navigate.
Sure, yeah, I gave you our website, but what I didn't say before was that we will use Microsoft Teams for most of our appointments this fall. We're meeting with students via video chat, much like a Zoom meeting, but Microsoft Teams is our main go-to. We can also do phone appointments for students who would prefer just to talk on the phone. And if there's a disability-related reason for needing to meet in person, you can contact our office about that, and we can make some special arrangements as well. For this fall, we're trying to maintain social distancing and COVID precautions as best as possible. So going to our website to learn more, aec.uoregon.edu, and signing up for an appointment with one of our advisors that way. And then once we have you in Microsoft Teams, we're available for chats as well.
Okay. Hello again. Could you switch the slide one forward? Thank you. So a lot of the advising offices on campus will use this amazing app called EAB Navigate, which is downloadable on iPhone and Google Play. And you can download this app and go log in with your UO Duck ID and password, and you'll be able to find the advising office that you want to work with and select an appointment just right then and there with your own thumb right there. But if you're having trouble navigating that, we do suggest that students visit our website, advising.uoregon.edu. Right on the front page there, there's two buttons, one for connecting with us for drop-in appointments, which are going to be around 15-minute appointments just to ask a quick question, and one to chat with our intake team or call them so that you can schedule a longer appointment. Our intake team at Tyson Hall is amazing. They're really good at troubleshooting what type of appointment you need and setting you up with the right person or directing you to another office if it's necessary. But if you're still not sure about what kind of appointment you need, that's okay. Just again, go to advising.uoregon.edu and book something with us, and we'll hear where you're at and get you the resources you need.
Thanks, everyone. So we're going to move on to some additional questions that maybe weren't submitted in advance. As a reminder, again, can someone in the chat repost the instructions there on how to reach out to Kate with some questions? You can submit them to Kate via Microsoft Teams or via her or to her email. We've got some questions that have come in that I'll go through. I'm looking at the ones that we've got and making sure we address ones that maybe haven't come up yet already. Here's a good one. A lot of students, I think, they work while they're in school, right? And they may have questions around how to find a job, and if they qualify for work study, how they go about finding a work study job. Can someone maybe speak to what that looks like and where students can go to make sure they know to look for on-campus employment opportunities?
For sure, I'm so happy to talk about this. First of all, there's a website called Handshake where you can find that on our Career Center website at career.uoregon.edu. And from there, you can go to our Handshake platform, and all you have to do is activate your profile. It's already created. You're using the same Duck ID and password, just like Canvas. And from there, you have access to a lot of opportunities, from on-campus jobs and internships to also off-campus opportunities as well. Now that we have a direction in terms of everything being remote for the fall term, at the least, there is a lot of opportunities that are found on our Handshake platform where they're looking for students who are looking for work right now. So if you need help identifying which opportunities to look into, how to even build or maybe create a resume, that's where the Career Center can help out as well. And we can definitely help you in terms of creating that Handshake profile, creating your application materials kind of things, and then helping you find a good fit for you in terms of getting involved on an on-campus kind of job. One thing to note about on-campus positions is it's so accommodating with your class schedules. As for someone who went to the U of O, I worked at the university in a advising office, and I was able to manage both my full-time student class while balancing out my job. And it was because my supervisor was super accommodating, but at the same time, they understand that we are students first before working and such like that. And so if there's any help that you need when it comes to looking for a job on campus, there is jobs available. Look on that Handshake website as well as if you need help with those application materials or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me or one of the other career coaches in our space, and we're more than happy to help you with your next steps.
Thanks, Kyle. Got a question that's come in. How do I know who my advisor is or what office I should connect with? I know we've talked a lot about how many different resources there are, which is great, and then also at times overwhelming. So I think addressing how students can figure out where the best resource for them to start with would be a great question to answer. Anyone willing to jump in on that one?
handle that one. So at the University of Oregon, you're not necessarily assigned a specific advisor. Rather, you're given a team of advisors, and we all share notes, and we all keep in touch and are trained by the same teams and have the same resources available to us. That said, that's a pretty vague answer, right? So you just meet with someone. So if you are struggling to figure out who to meet with, again, visit that advising.uoregon.edu site, or give our front desk team at the Office of Academic Advising or Tyson Advising a call, and they'll be able to pair you with someone who either matches with your major, or if you're exploring, maybe matches with something that you're interested in. If you do end up having an advising appointment with someone that you really have a connection with, and you want to continue to see them, you can always book appointments with them in the future. I know that I have a lot of students that even though they have a whole team of advisors, they still like to meet with me because we already have an established relationship. But that said, if one of us is out or something and there's an urgent question, again, we all share notes and responsibilities, so we're all willing to work.
Thanks,
I'm going to add on to that one. Very similar to what Kenley said at the Accessible Education Center. You have the option to work with any advisor that you want, but we typically do a case management type of model where you'll meet with one person who will become more familiar with you and who hopefully you'll become more comfortable with, and that way we'll know, maybe to check in with you if we hadn't heard from you for a while. It can be helpful for that relationship building, and because we're a smaller office with fewer advisors than the Office of Academic Advising, we tend to meet more frequently with the same students and develop more in-depth relationships. So.
I would just add briefly too, again, this is Jeff from Pathway Oregon. That's a really common question for students in our program, specifically because there is a great likelihood that you'll be meeting with more than one advisor. And so we always recommend that you check in with your Pathway Oregon advisor first, especially if you're not sure where to go or where to start. And then we will encourage you to get connected with other advisors as it seems appropriate based on your interests. And so that may mean working with one of the flight advisors in Tykes, and it might mean a professional advisor from one of the other schools or colleges. It might even mean the Clark Honors College. But if you're in Pathway Oregon, always feel free to check in with us first, and then we'll make sure you get connected.
Thanks, everyone. I want to add on too that advisors do reach out. I'm sure you've heard this a ton of times at this point, but checking your UOregon email account is so important. It's where you get a lot of official communication from the university, including invitations from advisors to come in and meet with them. And so you'll be getting outreach from different advising units potentially in your first term here, and that can also be a really good way to figure out where you can make a connection. So be sure to check that email account. And you've got the emails of the folks here in this presentation too. You can always just ask. We'll get you to, I don't want to say the right place because there are a lot of different places that can be helpful, but we'll get you to a good place to start. Believe it or not, time has flown by and we are at the end of today's session. I want to close out with a few different reminders and then again invite you to reach out to us via email and to make your advising appointment via Navigate or through the AEC website or the other resources listed here today. Thanks again for joining us. Keep in mind if you need advising support or you just want to connect and start building a relationship, we're here as we've all mentioned. Again, the websites on the screen are your best place to get started for figuring out who to reach out to first. A recording of this and our other sessions is going to be available on the website advising.uoregon.edu/uoregon, and we're even going to hold some more sessions throughout the week. You can find the remaining sessions on that website that I listed already, and I'm hoping maybe someone can post it in the chat just as an easy copy-paste reminder as well. Tomorrow, there are actually two events. The first one is going to happen in a very similar format to this via Zoom at 3 o'clock. It's about how to get involved in undergraduate research, which isn't a topic that we touched on much today, but it's one of the it's a really great way to start getting experience and learning more about what you might want to major in or you might want to do. And in the evening, there's going to be a Plan Your Journey session on Instagram. And the best way to get connected with that is to follow UO Advising on Instagram. And if you do that, you'll also get information about other events, important deadlines, updates, and that sort of thing. So that's another really good way to be connected with advising at the University of Oregon. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon. Go Ducks!